Okay, so I just want to say real quick that this is going to be a really quick video because I have to go back to studying for these exams that I have in a couple days that I have not been studying for. That's also the reason I have barely been uploading, so bear with me. But guys, unless you've been living under a literal flipping rock, you would have known that about the whole H3 versus Steven Crowder debate. No, I'm not going to play the clip. It's all over YouTube, and I'm going to do minimal editing on this video because, as I said, I have to get back to studying. But basically, the gist of it is Crowder and H3 got into a beef. Crowder challenged H3 to a debate. H3 accepted. They went on the podcast, and then right as they were starting to debate, H3 pulled a fast one and brought out another political commentator called Sam Seder to fight his battle for him and debate Steven Crowder. Now, the funny thing about this Sam Seder character is that people have been memeing Steven Crowder for not debating him a couple years ago when they were supposed to debate at this event called Politicon, but apparently Crowder got quote-unquote cold feet and just decided not to show up, basically. After H3 pulled the switcheroo on Crowder, they basically got in this big argument for like the next 5 minutes with Sam Seder, H3 and Steven screaming insults, throwing them back and forth at each other like freaking 4th grade children, throwing poopy diapers and juice boxes in each other's faces. Now the thing is, after that, I have seen some of the funniest memes ever spawned from that night, 99.9% of which are memeing Crowder for apparently being a coward and running away. Now listen, I walked into this debate having absolutely no side. What I do know is that Crowder is a conservative commentator and Ethan Klein is just a YouTube nigga. He doesn't really do politics like that. So if they have a debate, it would be pretty obvious who would have the more experience. Now the reason everybody thinks Crowder was a coward is because they think he was trying to gang up on H3 and beat him down. But then as soon as H3 pulls out somebody who is equivalent to Crowder and can actually debate him, aka Sam Seder, then Crowder runs the opposite direction. And I was of this view at first too, because I was like, yo, even though Ethan might not be necessarily as smart as Crowder in terms of a debate sense, he definitely did play the situation the smarter way. He made Crowder look like a bitch in front of millions of people, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who won or lost. All that matters is who the public thinks won or lost. Ethan took advantage of this and bitched Crowder in front of many people. In the end, he did take the W of the situation. However, looking back on things, I really do have to wonder though, was Crowder really in the wrong for leaving? Now, I first started to question my stance of H3 taking the W when I went on Twitter and saw the commentary YouTuber Diesel Patches make a tweet that said basically how the whole debate was brain cancer and that he didn't take any sides, but that both of them were actually acting like cowards. He says H3 acted like a coward because he was playing the role of, oh, I'm so dumb and intelligent, I'm not a political commentator, when he knows damn well that he makes serious political takes on his show from time to time. And when I read that, I was like, yo, that's actually true. H3 was playing the role of, oh, I'm so dumb, Steven is beating up on me, because he was trying to play the victim in the eyes of the public. But in reality, H3 does actually make some political statements on his show that are serious, which means he is a man capable of holding his own political opinions and having a debate. He's not a freaking child. With that said, I was like, yo, was he the coward for not wanting to debate Crowder because he knew Crowder would destroy him? Again, it was a smart play, because if I know I'm going to fight somebody who's 6'5" and freaking weighs more than my balls with his bulky ass self, the smartest thing for me to do would be to carry a strap on my freaking waist. He ain't bulletproof, nigga. And that's basically what Ethan did. However, how are we going to call Crowder the coward when Ethan also acted like the coward, if not the bigger coward, for accepting the debate when this was his only intention? It's not like Crowder forced him into a debate. Crowder showed the messages between them. They literally had a conversation and they were like, yo, just me and you, man to man, is that cool with you, blah blah blah. And Ethan was like, yeah, that's fine. Why did he accept them? And then here's the second thing. To be very honest with you, dog, Crowder said he doesn't accept debates that were based on a lie. To be honest with you, if I was in his position and I saw some other dude come from behind the screen, someone who the other person I was debating knew that you know, it would affect my reputation by bringing them onto the platform, if I saw that happen, I would take that as a major disrespect, bro. And honestly, I would not feel like continuing the debate either. Now, I do feel like Crowder could have expressed this a bit more, and I do think he was actually pretty scared of debating Sam. I'm not gonna say he wasn't, but to be honest with you, I don't think I would have stayed either. I would have felt disrespected. Maybe I would have arranged a debate with Sam Seder on my own time, you know, if only just to not look like a bitch in front of the audience. But I sure as hell would not have given Ethan the pleasure of having that debate in front of him, falling into his frame of having trapped me. I wouldn't have done that. The other reason I think he didn't debate Sam is probably because he would need time to prepare. Let's be real here. Let's not act like these people don't prepare before their debates in front of millions of people. They would be absolutely stupid not to prepare. However, I wouldn't really put it past somebody like Crowder to not prepare that much to debate somebody like Ethan flipping Klein of all people, because he just saw him as a layup. He saw him as easy meat. Why would you even need to prepare extensively for that? If I'm preparing to fight freaking Bryce Hall and then I go in the ring and then I see Mike Tyson come in, I'm gonna be like, yo, I did not train for this, my guy. I don't think people are being fair and looking at the situation from that lens. No one's really trying to see it from Crowder's POV. No, the reason why Ethan's play was smart, although slightly scummy, is because he saw this opportunity to embarrass somebody he was having a beef with and took it and ran. He saw, hey, me and this guy are having problems on the internet and I've been challenged to essentially a battle of dominance, to somebody I have basically no chance of winning against in a head-to-head conversation. Now, I could easily tell him, yo dog, I'm not gonna debate you because you're obviously more well-read than I am. Instead of giving him that win, no, I'm going to embarrass this man in front of millions of people and teach him a lesson for trying to beef with me. He looked into his past, found the one guy who could mess up Crowder's reputation, brought him on the show, and walked Crowder right into a trap where it was a lose-lose situation. If Crowder stayed to debate Sam Seder and ended up losing, that would have been the fattest L of all time. People would have used those clips and they would have made memes out of him, completely neglecting the fact that 1, he was not prepared for the debate, and 2, he was completely caught off guard, so he would be under a lot of pressure to perform well, which I'm sure would affect his skills in some way. He was in a position to fail that debate. L number 1. The alternative is Crowder leaves the debate. If he leaves, that's L number 2, where he looks like a complete coward. So Crowder really did not have many options. I personally think the best Crowder could have done is say something along the lines of, so hold on, let me get this straight. You're telling me that you lied to me that you were coming here to have a conversation and then came here to try and mess up my reputation with this person who the internet has been memeing me for not debating. That you essentially turned this conversation opportunity into a setup instead of being mature and having a real discussion about it. Then expressed that he felt disrespected and that it would be an absolute waste of his time to continue, looked at Sam Seder, said, hey, if you really want a debate that badly, you can hit me up in the DMs and we can arrange it, because he's not going to give Ethan the satisfaction of having trapped him on his own show. Then looked at Ethan, said he was disappointed in him and he thought that this could actually be a productive conversation, brought up the fact that they talked about family right before the show started, showing that Ethan was being manipulative and acting like he was a friend, then doing the switcheroo as soon as the cameras turned on. Because if you didn't watch Crowder's unedited footage right before they started recording, they were acting like good friends. They were talking about family, pregnancies, their wife's pregnancies and all of that. They were acting so cool and cordial. As soon as the cameras turned on, Ethan starts switching up. Exposing that type of manipulative behavior to the audience makes Ethan look very bad. Then after calling Ethan out on the manipulation, Crowder would have just shook his head in disappointment and then left the call out of self-respect. I think that frame would have made Ethan look like a baby, like an immature child. And I think if some people would say he was scared to debate Sam, but other people would have more understood where Crowder was coming from. And I genuinely think that would have saved the situation on his end. And guess what? If he really was scared of Sam Seder, if he had said to Sam on the show, hey, if you really want to debate me that badly, you can just hit me up, we can work something out. If Sam actually took him up on the offer and hit him up, all Crowder would have to do is just not respond. Never talk about it again. If he did that, I promise you 90% of the random people who are just hearing about them for the first time from this situation would not find out about that. The public thinks Crowder is not afraid of Seder, and Crowder still gets to avoid the debate. I doubt Seder would make an entire video about Crowder not responding to him, and even if he did, he only gets a couple thousand views per video. Most people would never know that Crowder ducked him again. Another major mistake Crowder made was insulting Ethan on things like his Tourette's and dissing Sam about his appearance and his glasses and all of that. Basically acting like an immature high school bully instead of doing what I said in my advice and taking the mature route of making Ethan look like the baby. Remember, we're going purely for likability and the crowd's public opinion here. You going full insult mode and trying to insult the people who the crowd is obviously, in more favor of, like Ethan making fun of his Tourette's, disrespecting Sam, calling him like peanut eyes or whatever when Sam isn't disrespecting you once, like in terms of insults. You doing those things makes you look like a big a-hole, bro. The crowd is not going to support that. Being a dick can be funny, but you can't get away with being a dick when you're the one that the crowd doesn't like. You being a dick makes the crowd want to hate you more and make memes out of you. It makes them take pleasure from kicking you when you're down like they're doing right now. And this can be a lesson learned for anyone watching this video.